The world we live is in very much broken. You get to meet with people who simply takes the life of others, who intentionally hurts others. You get to meet with people who are very much ill. You get to meet with people whose illness already been identified and they are going through the treatment. Or you get to meet with people who lost their loved ones because of the illness. And if you are any of those categories, that my prayer is that you will know love of my Lord with you. But while the world is broken in 21st century, we've got a privilege that medical people can help us if there is an illness. They can identify the illness mostly, and then they can come up with the solutions. But it seems to me that in 7th century, that was not very easy. So we have someone in 7th century who were around age 40 to age 63. He had certain conditions that it seems he wasn't able to get access to aspirin or paracetamol or treatments. What I want to do is I just want to give you some of these symptoms, and I do hope that anyone who will be watching, you work in medical area, that you can help us to identify this issue so that we can see if there is a way to move forward. Once problem is identified, then you can start thinking about the solutions. So here is some of the symptoms that a person who is in his symptom starts around 40. Our person is a man, so this is a man. Okay, we want to figure out what is the illness and what can be the solution to this illness. So this person suffers a heart and several conditions and hear the ringing of the bells in his ears. There are ringing of the bells in his ears. That's a bit strange, but that is the symptoms we have. We are trying to find out what might be. Another symptoms this person has is he faints and fall down quite often. Faints and fall down quite often. That is very concerning because when you fall, you can simply hit your head and there are consequences of that. Therefore, we want to identify the problem. Or this person would sweat in a cold day. That needs our attention. Person is sweating when it is cold. Usually people get sweat when it is hot. Or person's face would go to red and he would breathe heavily. That's already expressed. That might be with the heavy breathing. That might be some issue with the lungs or with heart. But also we've got face goes to red. This person sometimes snorts like a camel. He's not an animal, he's not a camel, but sometimes he snorts like a camel. Sometimes his mouth and his lips would quiver. Sometimes he would imagine the things he never done and he would imagine he has done them. There are lots of consequences of this. For example, you could imagine that you bought a house and you never actually bought the house, but you moved in someone else's house. So there is something not right with the brain. Or sometimes you would be thinking you had sex with your wives and you have all the signs that you had sex with your wives, but actually you never had sex with your wives. That is a bit serious as well. It has like very applicable problems in it. Sometimes his heart would beat rapidly. It's not, of course, excitement or out of love, Sometimes suddenly he would fall down or lie down. As I said, there is a problem with the falling down. You can just fall down on the floor and then hit your head. You can even, if you are in your 40s to 63 years old, you can even break your hips, and you don't want to do that. Or sometimes his lips would tremble as he lay on the ground. He would hear or saw the things that no one else would hear and see. No one else saw what I saw, but I'm convinced that I saw that. No one else heard what I heard, but I am convinced that I heard that. Sometimes he would have dreams and then come up with some of the creepy ideas. So, that is some of the conditions of the person who lived in 7th century. Of course, we don't need to give that much name. Who is that person? All I am wondering is there anyone who can help us to identify what might be the name of the illness, if there is an illness, this person giving the symptoms? Is there any medicine could help? Because apparently it seems to me that nothing worked beside a poisoned lamb. But it worked for good, because that poisoned lamb took him to a different place, not in this world. So we have someone who is in his 40s to 63 years and then gives us these symptoms. Please do help us to identify the issue, identify the illness, and hopefully that will help us to figure out or come up with some medical treatments. It might be too late, but still it's good to know what was the problem, and was there any place or any time that this problem could be fixed. So remember, the person we are looking is a male. He's in his 40, he starts having these symptoms from 40 to 63. He sweats, he faints, he snorts like a camel, he hallucinates, his heart beats rapidly, and he hears and see the things that no one else saw. Also, he's got this ringing bell on his ears. That's like, I already feel it's like pretty much painful, even though one of my ear doesn't hear, but I still share the pain. Do let us know, and we will take it from there.